We've all heard it. To write anything great, you need to break the mold, but then you immediately get slapped in the ears with, there are only 7 story types and there's nothing new to be said. So, like pretty much everything in writing, we need to weave 2 opposite ideas into one story. That's why today we're going to teach you how to write an unforgettable story by examining an icon.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
Shrek is a storytelling masterpiece. It's like Van Gogh showed up to a kindergarten class and obliterated everyone in finger paints. It took everything we knew and expected from fairy tale stories and farted in its face, and now, 20 years later, it's still more culturally relevant than any Disney remake or superhero reboot. So what's the first step to imagining a story like this? Well, believe it or not, getting fired. Back in the late 90s, after being the sole driver of Disney Animation Studios, Jeffrey Katzenberg was fired. Politely let go from Disney. But this only goes to prove my theory that every story of greatness starts with a spiteful rejection. Katzenberg, along with Steven Spielberg and some other guys, started DreamWorks Studios, eventually pumping out the greenest middle finger it could muster towards Katzenberg's former employer, Michael Eisner. And that's great, but you aren't here for a history lesson. You're here to write an unforgettable story. So let's get started. Today we'll be looking at 3 ways Shrek twists the fairy tale genre, and, more importantly, how you can apply the same logic to your own storytelling for tales that pop off the page. Starting with point number 1. Think of a classic fairy tale with its white knights, damsels in distress, dragon-guarded castles, and some old lady trying to ruin it for everyone. This is the story that we're reading in Shrek's outhouse before he uses the pages as some really scratchy toilet paper. This is our hero. Not some blue-eyed prince with a perfect smile, but an ogre that makes candles from earwax and brushes his teeth with slug guts. As the movie is quick to point out, the ogre is usually the villain in the fairy tale. Nobody likes him, and he's viewed as a menace to society. So how do we take the lowest character on the traditional totem pole and make him a savior worth rooting for? For Shrek, as well as for your own story, you need to know your stereotypical stories for the genre you're writing in. Consider the genre that you're writing in. Who are the traditional bad guys, or the chaotic neutral ones at least? Ask yourself what kind of predicament could kick them out of this category of comfort and into the role of hero. For Shrek, it's his desire to get his home back and be left alone, and how that transpires into a quest to save the princess. So think. How can my unlikely candidate find himself rescuing the girl, saving the planet, or making the best movie about making a movie about fighting in Vietnam? Once you can convincingly trick your C-lister into the lead role, you need to give them a supporting cast. Rather than a trusty steed and helpless damsel, Shrek gets the unsolicited help of a donkey and a woman who could have saved herself at any point in time if she really wanted to. They are the opposite of the stereotype, but huge point here, they still function critically in helping Shrek realize his need. Supporting casts always help point the hero towards what their soul is missing, and for Shrek, this is both a need for friends, a need to be loved, and a need to shed his layers. When you reimagine your side characters, you want them to look different than what you expect, and you want them to act different than what you expect. But you still need them to help your hero grow, like they always do. Shrek doesn't get a white stallion that helps him solve problems, he gets a lovable jackass that usually makes problems worse. He doesn't rescue a prim and proper princess that looks at him in disgust. Instead, he gets an aesthetically beautiful princess that can beat the piss out of Robin Hood's traveling folk band and traumatize me when she hits the high notes. Literally, I cried watching this as a 6-year-old. But Donkey still helps Shrek take a risk, chase love, and open up, while Fiona still teaches him that true love isn't about physical beauty, it's about loving the person within. Now, if you get your main character and side characters down solid, you have 50% of the heavy lifting done. These characters really guide how your story unfolds, but Shrek was more than just an ogre, a donkey, and a ninja princess. It was an entire world reimagined, which is our second point. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, tropes are great for you as the writer because you and everyone that likes your genre knows what to expect. The dragon has to get unlived. The princess sings with the forest animals and starts a house-cleaning side hustle. Characters like Robin Hood and the King are uncompromisingly good, so why not use that expectation against your audience? Once we get past the core cast, we still need our reimagined characters to exist in some new yet familiar world. Now remember that Katzenberg was originally Disney's shot caller for the animation studio, and as a result, knew their storyboards and tropes insanely well. Icons from Disney culture, therefore, became fair targets. We all know it's a small world after all, and so it made an appearance in Shrek as this lewd welcome kiosk. We were familiar with every Disney movie being a musical, so the inclusion of ridiculous musical numbers was incorporated into the film. These were tropes specific to Disney's culture that Katzenberg wanted to make fun of, so he took what everyone knew, loved, and expected, then gave them something completely different. This was done with the genre of fairy tales as well. The characters themselves were quick to notice any time the story deviated from the norm, whether it was the gender of a lonely castle dragon, that the forest creatures doubled as balloon animals, or that weddings and night challenges resembled Mari in WWE. The writers took as many opportunities as they could to stop, ask themselves what was traditional about their story, and then play with how they could make it new, unpredictable, or irreverent. In your own stories, stop and think during your writing. Is there anything that you've written that looks exactly like every other story within that genre? Can you change it while maintaining the scene's function? Can you make things harder for your characters while also surprising your audience by taking a new path down a familiar road? Once our characters and story world have this heavy dash of reimagination, we can then move on to the final step of our story, which is once we have our unconventional lead, cast, and story world, we need to figure out rewriting the traditional story. For Shrek, this is our hero saving a princess to regain his mineral rights, but learning a lesson about friendship, true love, and dragon diets on accident. It seems out of the ordinary as far as the fairy tales go, but is it really so different from traditional story structures? In a traditional story, we have a hero whose life gets interrupted, forcing them to leave home and make a change. They reluctantly take on a challenge, struggle to accomplish a task, and learn that they want something else along the way. Usually, they accomplish their goal, but realize they're still sad, at which point they re-enter the fire and risk what they started off wanting for what they realized they needed. And that's it. That's story structure. That's $5,000 in college credits right there, so, you're welcome. Anyway, what you'll notice is that Shrek broke the mold when it came to genre, but it didn't break anything when it came to story structure. If Shrek were a car, it would be one of those slingshot things. It looks different, it's a fun new take on an old idea, but it still uses wheels, an engine, and whatever else goes into a car, I don't know. The paint job is crazy, maybe it does that bouncy thing, but it's still a car. You, with your own stories, want to keep that in mind. You want to change the look of a traditional story, make it more fun, maybe find a new way or new reason for your hero to leave home, like getting back their property rights. But at the same time, you still want the hero to save the princess, or at least try. You still want the same parts of a good story, but you gotta get creative as to how you use them if you really want to write the best story possible. Don't go anywhere, you're gonna want to check this out. If you'd like more help on understanding tropes, here's a link to a free thingamajig I made to help. There's another link down in the description if you're ready to write your own story. My story actually started as a spoof on Pinocchio, so check that out on Amazon for some ideas. And if none of those strike your fancy, leave a comment on what would strike your fancy for future video topics. Thanks for watching.